Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Ozra. Today, I'm going to do a little reading about Czech hedgehogs. Oh yes, hedgehogs from Czechoslovakia. In 1935, Czechoslovakia, now known as the independent states, the Czech Republic and Slovakia, began construction on a fortification along their border with Germany. Remember, this was 1935. I think that was possibly a wise choice. Consisting of various types of defences, including bunkers, traps and pillboxes, this massive fortification was to withstand the growing might of the German army, and their new up-and-coming weapons developed during World War I, the tank. To counter this new threat, and diminish tank mobility, Czechoslovakia began to construct large reinforced concrete devices whose purpose was to directly block, flip, or damage enemy vehicles. These early models proved too vulnerable to machine gun fire and explosions. As their side effect, they would also provide a lot of cover for infantry. Still, the oldest parts of the defensive line, built between 1935 and 1936, kept these concrete hedgehogs in place as part of the second defensive line. The next obvious step in development was to use hard metals, primarily such as steel. Using strong beams around 2 meters in length, 3 of which would be affixed at the centers, splayed at the ends, resulting in a triboard formation just over 1 meter high. Due to this design, they would remain upright in any position. Therefore, movement by explosion does not directly hinder their effectiveness. The standard force a hedgehog can take is around 60,000 kilograms, far more than the weight of any tank at the time. The German Panzer II, for example, began production in 1935, weighed only 8.8 tons. The later Tiger I, which began production in 1942, weighed around 60 tons, pushing it but still within the boundaries. These hedgehogs would be too heavy for smaller vehicles to push around, and larger vehicles attempting to drive over them will have their underside, particularly tyres and their tracks of course, savaged by the bar ends as it rolls along underneath. Their simple construction enabled easy mass production and minimal maintenance, and many thousands were produced for the border fortifications. In 1938, Germany annexed the Czechoslovakian region known as the Sudetenland, taking control of the border defences and ending their construction before completion. Germany then adopted the Czech Hedgehog, similarly mass-producing them and using them as easy movable defences for the lands they controlled over the course of the war. Notably, they appeared on the beaches of France along the Atlantic Wall, seen in many a wartime movie. During the Allied invasion, after capturing the beaches of northern France, hedgehogs, or at least parts of them, were sometimes welded to the front of Allied tanks. This was primarily to assist in hedge removal amongst the infamous Bocage region of Normandy, as the Allies were advancing. The Soviet Union likewise adopted the design, and used them to great effect to stall the German invasion of Russia. For this reason, they became a symbol of defense at all costs in the Soviet Union, and a memorial in Moscow was built in 1966 to honor the city defenders, consisting of 3 giant Czech hedgehogs. After World War II, the Czechoslovakian army conducted tests with the much heavier, later war tanks, and found them to be of much reduced efficiency against this heavy armour. The Tiger II, for example, built in 1944, weighed 70 tons. Due to this, different defences were designed for use in the new Cold War era. However, despite this, the Czech Hedgehog remains an important part of road and urban defence to this day. Seen in sensitive locations and hostile areas where there is a desire to hinder and prevent vehicle movements. Their cheap and easy construction, combined with the ability to move them easily to locations as needed, means they continue to act as a sort of pop-up roadblock as and when needed by various nations. In early 2022, Russia officially invaded Ukraine. Combined with other defences, the Czech Hedgehog was deployed to thwart Russian movements. Private companies within Ukraine, such as Ukrainian Railways, have repurposed sections of track to construct an estimated 1,800 Czech Hedgehogs at dozens of their production sites. These improvised and quickly deployed defences have been used to great effect by Ukrainian soldiers in numerous key strategic locations, such as Odessa, Lviv, and Kiev. Over 80 years after being first developed on the Czechoslovakian border, the Czech Hedgehog remains an important feature of defence for modern military forces. Thank you for joining me on this very short and brief history of the Czech Hedgehog. Do feel free to do the YouTube things, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care and have a lovely day.